I've made a full-time income selling simple coloring books on Amazon KDP, and in this video I'm going to teach you exactly how you can do the same following a simple 4-step process. Now there are a lot of videos promising to do this on YouTube already, but they make it out as if you can just create any old coloring book, upload it to Amazon, and then just sit back and watch the money roll in. Now as great as that would be, it's just not as simple as that, and there's a big difference between just making a coloring book and making a coloring book that actually sells. So in this video I'm going to explain exactly what you need to be doing differently to actually make money from these coloring books and give you an easy 4-step process to go from a complete beginner to a full-time income selling these kinds of books in just 12 months. So I'll very quickly run through exactly how Amazon KDP works. So Amazon KDP is essentially Amazon's very own self-publishing platform that allows anyone to upload books to Amazon. So how it kind of works in a nutshell is you will create a book interior file and also a book cover file. These will both be PDF files. So you're creating 2 different PDF files. We then upload both of those 2 PDF files to Amazon. You'll choose a price, you'll name the title of your book, you'll put your name as kind of the author, loads of different things, which I will show you later on in the video. And then that gets listed onto Amazon with the price that you set it. And when someone buys your book, and then at that point, Amazon will then print it and then ship it off to the customer. So you don't have to deal with any kind of logistics. Once you've uploaded the book, that's pretty much your work done. And then you just take a 60% cut of the sale price minus printing costs. So it's a really good business model when you think you haven't got to actually do any of the boring logistics kind of stuff. You just focus on creating the books and then marketing them. So that's how Amazon KDP works in a nutshell. And there's 3 main reasons why this is an incredible business model to start, especially if you're a beginner to Amazon KDP. Firstly, you never touch a book. Amazon does it all for you. So as I said, you upload the PDF files to Amazon, you list it on the market, and then from then on, it's pretty much all up to Amazon. They print it, they send it off to the customer, they deal with customer service and all that kind of boring stuff. You just take a cut of the sale price. So it's a very, very passive business model. And with that, you also hardly need any money to get started with Amazon KDP. The only money you really need to invest is into advertising or marketing, or if you want to, having people create your books for you. But that's something that you come into a bit further down the line. But essentially compared to something like starting your own brand or Amazon FBA, where you have to invest a fairly sizable chunk of money into stock or that kind of thing, you haven't got to do any of that with Amazon KDP. And both of these things ultimately mean you can operate your KDP business from literally anywhere in the world. As long as you have a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection, you can build this business model so easily. So not only is it quite simple in terms of we're creating coloring books, we're not having to be an author writing 30,000 words. It's actually a very flexible business model to run as well. So I mentioned in the intro, there was a 4-step process to this. Now I'm going to outline exactly what this 4-step process is. In order to create a coloring book and sell it on Amazon, here are the 4 steps that you need to follow. Firstly, you need to do your market research. You then need to create your book interior. You then need to create your book cover. And then finally, once your book is uploaded, you then take care of the marketing or using Amazon ads to get your book in front of the right customers. Now, there is a lot more to this business model than just these 4 steps, but these are the 4 main steps that you will focus on. And a lot of the tutorials you'll see on YouTube talking you through how to make money selling coloring books on Amazon KDP is they miss out these 2 really, really important steps. They just show you how to create a coloring book and upload it to Amazon, and then you probably think, oh, I'm going to make loads of money from this, and then realize you're not actually selling any units. That's because these tutorials are missing out on the 2 most important parts of actually making a book like this: the market research and the book marketing. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter what coloring book you make. If you haven't done your market research, i.e. knowing that people actually want to buy the book in the first place, no one's going to buy it. And also, if you're not marketing the book correctly, i.e. not getting the book in front of the right people, you're also not going to sell a unit. So it's not just about creating the book. There's the market research that has to take place before, and also the book marketing that has to take place after your book goes live. And I will cover both of these things in this video too, as well as a full tutorial of exactly how to bring your book interior and your book cover to life. So let's start with market research. The crucial thing with this here is you only want to be creating books that people actually want to buy. So I always say, before you even start touching a book or even start making it, you have to do your market research first. It seems a bit counterproductive. You know, you're selling books on Amazon. You think the first thing I need to do is create the book. Incorrect. The first thing you need to do is do your market research. Because you have to remember, you're not selling to yourself. It doesn't matter if you think your book is a good idea. The only opinions that matter are those of your potential customers. They are the people that are going to buy your book. So you have to focus on exactly what they want, and that's what comes in your market research. So to do this, you need to find out are people searching for a certain kind of book? Because if you have an idea of, let's just say, a cat coloring book, but people aren't searching for cat coloring books on Amazon, there's no point making it because people aren't searching for it, people don't want it, and therefore once you've made it, you're not going to sell any. And secondly, you have to see, are people actually buying these books? So as well as showing intent to buy, Are they going one step further and actually buying these books? These are the two kind of things you need to look at when it comes to your market research. So here's exactly what I mean by this book marketing. The first thing we need to do is see if people are actually searching for something on Amazon. So if I type in an Amazon coloring book here, what Amazon will basically do is it will take all the really common search terms that people are actually typing into Amazon and show you here. So people are typing in coloring books for adults relaxation, coloring books for kids ages 4 to 8. So if you're typing something into Amazon and a suggestion doesn't come down here, it basically means that people aren't actually searching for this kind of thing on Amazon. So if I just go for something really random like a chair coloring book, if I just type in chair here, as you can see, loads of different suggestions off the back of chair, but the more specific we get, chair coloring book, I don't imagine anyone in the world is searching for a chair coloring book. And as you can see, I type this in and absolutely no suggestions are coming up, which basically means, surprise, surprise, no one is searching for a chair coloring book. So if I go ahead and type this in, you're probably not going to have any products related to this because basically no one wants to buy it, so no one's making this kind of book. Interestingly, there is actually some kind of modern chairs ad color. I'm not sure it's specifically a coloring book itself, but it is the 2,874,000th best-selling book on Amazon, so it's literally not selling a single unit. I'll show you exactly what this extension is in just a second. So this is basically what I mean by verifying whether or not people are actually searching for something. If I type in like something like puppy coloring book, as you can see now, I type in puppy coloring book and there's loads of different variations of this keyword. For adults, bulk, for kids ages 4 to 8, for kids ages 8 to 10. So this shows you that people are actively searching for puppy coloring book on Amazon. So in terms of the checklist, the first thing you need to do, are people searching it in? Tick on this one because they are. They're looking for puppy coloring books because you can see all of these suggestions that people are putting into Amazon. So once you've verified that people are actually searching for the idea you have for a book, the next thing you need to know is, are people actually buying the book? And you can figure out whether or not people are actually buying these books by looking up what's known as the bestseller rank, or BSR. Now I do actually have a Chrome extension which shows all the BSRs here. As you can see, this has a BSR of 54,262. If I didn't have this Chrome extension, you would have to click into the actual book itself and then scroll all the way down to the more information about the product, and you can see the bestsellers rank here. So this Chrome extension basically just makes it so much easier to find these bestseller ranks. And the closer the BSR number is to 0, the more units it is selling. So in the US, if you're on Amazon.com, anything with a BSR under 100,000 is selling pretty well. Obviously, the closer to 0, the better it's going to be. And that Chrome extension that I'm talking about is called DS Amazon Quick View. So I'll leave this link down below in the description to just go ahead and download it. This will just say add to Chrome. You add that, and then you'll start getting this drop down of all the book BSRs. I highly recommend it. It just makes your life so much easier. So now we know what a BSR is, and it's actually useful for understanding how many units each book is selling. I'm going to show you how to actually read into what these numbers are. So what you want to do is load up something like a bestseller rank sales calculator. I'll leave this one also linked down below in the description. And what this basically does is you can put the BSR into here and it will tell you how many sales each book is making per day. Then you can put some more information about the book and you can see how much it's making every single month. So if we just go down to these puppy books here, as you can see, unlike that chair coloring book that had a BSR of something like 2.8 million or 2.6 million, whatever it is, these are looking a lot more promising. So these books are actually selling a lot more than that chair coloring book. So not only are people searching for them, people are actually buying them. So all you need to do is go ahead and take the BSR number. So 54,262. Let's go and put it into this calculator here. 54,262. Press calculate sales. So this puppy book is selling 6 units every single day. If I just go into a little bit more information about it, it costs $6.99. And let's just see how many pages this book actually has. So if we just scroll down a little bit more, it has 67 pages and is $6.99. So if we just go up to here, it has 66 pages and is currently $6.99. So this book is making $340 every single month in complete passive income. Now this is actually okay, but there are a lot of other books that are doing better. So if I just take this one for example, it's $7.99 and is 43,000 in books. So it's closer to 0, which means it's selling even more. So if we just go up to here, put in 43,000, calculate sales per day. This is now making 8 sales per day. But because it's $7.99, it's making even more royalties. The interior type will be a bit different. Let's just say it has 100 pages. So it's making just under $600 a month for this book. So this basically shows us one thing. A, people are searching for puppy coloring book on Amazon because we have this drop down here. And B, people are actually buying it. In fact, they're buying this one 6 units every single day, and this one is selling 8 units a day. So this is an example of something you would go in and then create this book because you know people are searching for it and they're buying it. And if you don't have this information, guess what? When you make your chair coloring book, no one's going to buy it. So this is a really key step that you don't want to miss out on. Now, this kind of research does go into significantly more detail if you really want to take your KDP to the next level. This is obviously just a beginner's video. You know, don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. But if you are looking for an extensive tutorial of exactly how to show this, I cover that and so much more in my Publish for Profit Mastery course, which if you're serious about taking your KDP to a full-time income, you can check that out down below in the description. So we've done the first step of the process. We've done our market research. We know people are looking for something like a puppy coloring book, and we also know people are buying it. So it's now our turn to go in and make our own version of this, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that now. Now, in order to create both the interior and the book cover for this book, we're going to be using a tool called Kittl. Now, Kittl is a free tool, but it can also be a paid tool. I do recommend you get the paid version because we're going to be using its AI image generator in order to bring this book to life. And as you can see, it is extremely affordable. Like I say, you do have the free plan, but you are limited with actually creating AI images. So I do recommend you get the Pro or the Expert plan. As you can see here, the main difference between the Pro and the Expert plan is the number of projects you can do and also the number of AI credits. The more AI credits you have, the better, especially if you're going to be making a lot of these books. And if you use the link down below and also the discount code that you can see on screen, you will also get a 20% discount off your subscription to Kittl as well. Now, as you can see, I personally have the Expert plan. I do recommend this is the one you go for. It's literally only $24 a month and even less when you use my discount code. And when you consider how much it costs to outsource a full coloring book for like a graphic designer to make it for you, it is going to be significantly more than this. So this is by far the most budget-friendly way you can make these simple coloring books. So once you're in Kittl, the first thing you need to do is understand exactly what size book dimensions you need for your book. So it's mainly done on KDP in inches. So make sure you just select this to inches. And there are 3 main sizes of books you're going to want. The first one is an 8.5 by 11 inches. This is an A4 size book. You could also have a 6 by 9 inches book, which is an A5 size book, or you can have an 8.5 by an 8.5 inches book, which is kind of like a square coloring book. So you're usually going to be publishing one of those 3 sizes. Literally every single book I've ever made on Amazon KDP is one of those 3 sizes. So they're kind of the main things you're going to look at: 8.5 by 11, 6 by 9, and 8.5 by 8.5. So in this example, we're going to go for an 8.5 by an 8.5 book. So let's go for 8.5 here, and then just go for 8.5 here. As you can see, width 8.5, height 8.5, and then go ahead and just press create. And here is exactly that 8.5 by 8.5 canvas that we're going to create our coloring images on. So now we're happy with our dimensions. Here comes the fun bit, and that's actually creating these puppy coloring pages for our book. Now, previously, without something like Kittl, you'd have to pay a freelancer. It's going to cost you at least $100, $200 minimum to get these coloring pages done for you. But now you can pay $24 a month, or even less with my discount, and create up to 600 images every single month. So this is why Kittl comes into a league of its own when it comes to actually creating these coloring images. And here is exactly how you would do that. What you want to do is go into this Kittl AI box down here, and then go over to their image generator. And the best thing about this is you can choose so many different styles of images for your books. So we're just going to go ahead and type in here cute puppy, because that's basically what we want for our coloring book. And the best thing for simple coloring book designs, we're going to go for like a bold and easy puppy coloring book, because bold and easy style books are doing really well on Amazon here. I found the best kind of prompt for this is to have a super simple thing of what you want, cute puppy, and then to go for the kawaii icon style, because that kind of brings out exactly the kind of image that we're looking for. So we've gone for cute puppy and we've clicked kawaii icon. And then we're going to go ahead and just press generate image. So this uses 1 AI credit. So if you go back to that pricing table, if you have the Pro plan, you get 200 credits. If you have the Expert plan, you get 600 credits. If you have the free plan, you only get 20 credits, and you don't actually have commercial use over these images. So I do massively recommend you get either the Pro or the Expert plan. Go ahead and just press generate image. And here is the image that it has generated for us. So as you can see, here is the image that we have created. Here's our golden retriever puppy. It's exactly what we were looking for. Now, the first thing you might think is, Sam, there's still colors here. This isn't actually a coloring page. Don't worry, you can turn this image into a vector, which basically means you can color it in extremely easily using Kittl. All you want to do is just press this first button, which removes the background. It will also remove the shadow underneath the dog, which just leaves us with the image of just the dog itself. So as you can see, this is exactly what we've got now. No background image and also no shadow. And then you want to go over to this vectorize button, and then we're just going to go for 2 colors here. Basically, it means take this image and turn it into a black and also a different color, and then we're going to turn that into white. So we've now vectorized this image. It's defaulted to black and this kind of golden color. Let's make this black right to the bottom there, and then change this to white. And all of a sudden, that image that we generated now is exactly what we wanted in terms of our coloring page. And it's just a very simple black and white golden retriever puppy. Now, in order to make this into a full coloring book, I recommend you have at least 50 designs. So it just becomes very straightforward after this. Just go ahead and duplicate this image. And it's worth mentioning here on a coloring page, I generally say every single right page should be the coloring image, and you should leave every left page blank to prevent color bleeding through the back of the image. So if you go ahead and just delete this here, go over to text and then just drop in a text box here, just press add a headline, and then make this smaller, and then just type in page left blank to prevent color bleed through, and then just make this a lot smaller. Let's go for 20. And then place this in the middle, and then we're going to change this to a thin texture so it doesn't really come through the page. Let's go for light, a bit easier. So if you think of every single book interior, this is going to be a left page and this is going to be a right page. Every left page we're just leaving blank, and then the image goes on every single right page. So in order to get 50 images here, we're going to have 100 pages in total for our book. So all you want to do is press Artboard 1 and then Artboard 2 again. That will highlight them both. Go ahead and just press duplicate, and then you have exactly the same format here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep going and repeating the same process. So in order to build this book out, you want to go in and just generate another image. As you can see, here is another one. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of our golden retriever there, move this one in as our next design, and then again, go to remove background, and then go for vectorize, and the colors are going to be, 2 colors again. We want to turn it into a black and a white image, and then it will change this to this gold. We're going to change this to white again, and then also make this a darker color black. And it will just leave this bold and easy design. Now, if you actually consider it, if you go back to the initial design, there's a lot more features here. It has the rosy cheeks, it has this pattern here, but the type of book we're looking to make here is a bold and easy coloring book. So we don't want to have all these details included. The idea is the image is as easy and simple to color in as possible, and the person who's coloring it in can kind of, put these patterns in themselves. They can add these rosy cheeks in themselves if they want to. That's the whole point of a bold and easy coloring book. So as you can see, we now have 2 images for our puppy coloring book. All you want to do to complete this book is just rinse and repeat this process. Copy these 2 artboards, press duplicate, go back in and make another puppy image until you have 50 designs in your book, and then that is your book interior completely done. Then once you've done that, in order to export this as a PDF that you can go ahead and upload to Amazon KDP, just go over to this export button. You want to make sure you're selecting PDF, and you want to make sure you press this combine artboards into one file. This basically means all these 100 different artboards that you can see here will all be combined into one PDF. Just press that and then go ahead and just press export. And that's basically going to download the interior that you can upload then straight to Amazon KDP. So that is the actual coloring interior of the book completely done. It's now time to move on to the book cover. So off camera, I just created this very quick concept of exactly what I want our book cover to look like. Now, this isn't actually the thing you upload to Amazon KDP. I'm just going to use this as a reference point and basically build this completely from scratch and show you exactly how I do it. Now, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the right dimensions for your coloring book. So you want to go over and just type in KDP cover calculator into Google, and it will be this first option here. And then you need to put in a little bit of information about your book in order to get the right dimensions for your book cover. So follow exactly what I'm doing here. The binding type, for our example, is a paperback book. Our interior type is going to be black and white interior. Our paper type, we're going to go for white paper. Reading direction is going to be left to right. Our measurement units are going to be in inches, and our interior trim size, as I said at the start of the video, is going to be 8.5 by 8.5 inches. Because we have 50 coloring pages in our book, that means we have 100 pages in total. So we're going to put 100 here and then just press calculate dimensions. Now what this is basically going to do is give us the exact dimensions we need to put into Kittl in order to create our canvas to bring our book front and back cover to life. Remember, when you're uploading your cover to Amazon KDP, your front cover and your back cover is all one file. So these are the dimensions we need to take over to Kittl: 17.475 by 8.75. And you also want to go here and just press download template, and that's basically going to download a drag and drop template that you can use straight into Kittle. So again, go and start a new project in Kittle, change the units to inches, and ours was 17.475. Kittle actually only goes up to 2 decimal places, but 47 is absolutely fine. And then 8.75 was the other one. Go ahead and press create, and this is exactly the size of canvas we need for our book front and back cover. Then to upload the template we just downloaded, go over to uploads here and then just press upload. And as you can see, here is what we just downloaded from Amazon KDP itself. So go ahead and double click this to upload it. And what it will do is it will place this image into your canvas. And this is exactly why it's really important to download it, because all you want to do is drag this all the way to the top corner, drag it all the way down to the bottom. And this is essentially a perfect template to create our book front and back cover. Our front cover is going to go here and our back cover is going to go here. So essentially we want to recreate this as our front cover and then also add a back cover in as well. So the first thing we want to do is add in a background for our book cover. So go to elements here, then choose a basic square shape. And that's going to drop this into our file, move this all the way up to the center of the book, pull it across. Now it's worth mentioning here that these red lines basically mean you don't want any kind of elements, images, text or whatever to go onto these red lines. So it's important you're aware exactly where they are when you're creating your design. But the first thing you want to do is create the color for this background. If I go into this example here previously, I actually used a radial design here. So if you just go up to here, it will default to solid color, but I chose the radial gradient and you can choose the 2 different colors here. So I'm going to choose this first one here as the first color. It's the end color of the radial gradient. Go back over to our design here and make this the main color. Go ahead and put this in and just press enter and then change this to radial gradient and just make sure the end one is exactly the same as we had in the other design. Go back over to this first design and then take the first color, which is this one. You don't have to be using a radial gradient. You can just use a solid color, but I actually think radial looks a little bit better. We're going to go ahead and copy this hex code. And then when you're doing your own book, just choose whatever color style you want. And we're going to choose the first one and then change that to this color. And as you can see, here is exactly that radial background we have. It just looks a little bit better than just having a solid block color. Now we want to go in and add in some text. So just go over to this text box and then just press add a headline. And that will basically add in the text for our book. And we want to call this cute puppies. So cute. We're going to do each one individually and then change this font to a different font. Now the font I used in this example was Cute Dino. I think it's a really cool font, especially for a book like this. And let's just make this a little bit bigger and then just look into the color that we used. Again, it was this color here. Go ahead and change this color, copy and paste it into there. And then what I also did is I add this, green, darker green background behind it. So in order to do that, you have to scroll all the way down into text shading. So I'll just go back to our design here, scroll down to text shading and press the plus button here. And then I chose this detailed 3D shadow option. And the colors that I used was this color here. I use an offset of 4, angle of -69, and an outline width of 21. So if I can remember that, this was 4, -69, and then this outline width was 21. And then we want to change this color here to this green. And that's exactly the same style that we have in this design here. And just to make sure it's exactly the same, we also want to change the font size. In this example, the font was 193. So let's go ahead and change this font here to 193. So as you can see, we now have the background to our text. Now, because this is actually a different size artboard, exactly the same, numbers here isn't going to have the same effect because this is a smaller canvas. So the same, inputs are going to look a little bit different, so we have to go and actually find this for ourselves. Let's just change this outline width to make it a little bit smaller, and then just keep the offset as it is. And I'm pretty happy with that. I quite like how that looks. And just make this a little bit smaller. Go ahead and put that there, pretty much exactly where it is in the initial design. Actually, we're going to make this a little bit thinner, just so it stands out there. So we've got cute there. Go ahead, press Control-C, Control-V to copy and paste. And then we're just going to go for puppies. And what I'm just going to do is keep exactly the same style for this puppy word, make this bigger, and that's exactly what we've got here for our design. So we've got cute puppies here for our title, just like we have here. And one thing we haven't got in this one is we have this grey border. At the moment, we want to make this a white one exactly like it is in the other design. Doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but it's just a small detail changes here. Now, I could cut all this up and, you know, just include the highlights of me creating this book, but I think it's really important for you to see exactly every single step, you know, the raw, uncut footage of me doing this, because it's really useful for you to follow. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and put in this bold and easy coloring book. So again, keep exactly the same style, Control, paste. We're going to make this a little bit smaller because the text is going to massively overflow if we're not careful. Bold and easy coloring book. Just make this a little bit bigger. And then make this text slightly smaller so it stands out like that. And what I've actually done for this example here is I've just changed this to a white color. And then what have I got for the background of the shading? It's the same, but it's just a lot thinner. So let's just go and press this and then just make this outline width something like 5 and see how that looks. So cute puppies, bold and easy coloring book. Now our design is starting to come to life. So the next thing we want to do for our front cover is go ahead and just get these hearts. Now for this example of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste these over. But in order to get these in this design, all I did is go to elements and I just typed in hearts in here. If you want something like a dog bone or something else, just go ahead and type in whatever you want and just choose from their selection of elements. But for simplicity of this video, I'm just going to copy and paste these hearts in here. Let's make these a little bit smaller and then move it up. And then pull this down there, and then just copy and paste this over. And then just let's move this up a little bit just so it's more in line. The same with this one, and then the same with this one. So here is our coloring book starting to take shape. We now need to go in and add in some actual designs of the puppies for our book. So as you can see here, all of these puppies that I have generated. So in order to do that, we want to go back into the Kittle AI and type in cute puppy again. Choose our kawaii icon style, press generate image, and that's hopefully going to generate us a puppy that looks exactly like the ones that I just showed you in that example. So here's the image that it has generated for us. I actually think these puppies look a lot nicer. It depends on, you know, what you consider to be a cute dog, but we're just going to include this as our example. What you can actually do is, you know, specify the type of puppy that you want. So I'll do that in the next one. Just go ahead and press remove background. And for this case, we don't actually have to vectorize anything because we want the colored versions of these puppies in here. Let's go over to this generator and create another one. Let's go for cute pug puppy. Press generate image, and this will give us a more specific image of what we're exactly looking for. And that's exactly what it's done. Here is our cute little pug. Go to remove background, and then we're going to move him to the bottom corner of the image. Let's just move him there, make him a little bit smaller, because it's also worth bearing in mind, you want to make sure you're not touching on those red lines behind. So a cool feature that you can do, so what I suggest you do is just pull this across to the side, and as you can see here, the pug isn't actually going onto any of these red lines, so it's absolutely fine to have him there in that position. Pull this all the way down to the bottom, and then let's just go for the final one, and let's just go for cute golden retriever puppy. And here is our final image for our front cover. Again, press remove background. And we're just going to move him to the bottom left corner of this page, make him a little bit smaller, and then just move him to the bottom so everything is in line and he's a similar size to the pug on the other side, just so it looks a little bit more symmetrical. So he's in there. And let's just make sure, again, everything is where it should be. So pull this across, you know, the heart's on the red line, this dog isn't on the red line. So everything is exactly where it should be in our front cover. So that is our front cover completely done for our coloring book. You want to then move on to the back cover. Let's go ahead and just copy and paste this blue file here and just line it all up and put it on the back cover, and then just pull this across a little bit more. So for the back cover of your book, it's actually a lot less important than the front cover, but what I like to do for books like this is just take examples of the actual coloring designs that you have on the inside of the book and then just paste them onto the actual file itself. So I've pasted this in, make sure I bring this to the front, else you won't be able to see it. Let's just make this a little bit smaller, just to show examples of exactly what it is you're going to be coloring in, when you buy this book. Go ahead and take this second one here, drop it into the same file. As you can see, it will paste it annoyingly behind. Just press more options and then bring to front again, as I did with the golden retriever example, and then just move this up. And then you can basically put in kind of whatever you want. Now, it's worth mentioning here, you have to make sure you're leaving the barcode completely free. Now, if you wanted to upload this just as it is, you can, but I do recommend adding in a little bit of text. So let's just pull this up and then just copy and paste this text over here. Let's just go for 50 designs to color. Doesn't have to be anything, groundbreaking for this back cover, but at least you have something there just to make it a little bit more exciting. And then what you can do is you can either put, a brand logo or kind of whatever you want here. It's entirely up to you. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to leave this as our front and back cover. One final check to make sure everything sits exactly where it should be in terms of the dimensions and the guides. And here is exactly the same too. So we're really happy with this. Here is our front cover, here is our back cover. Again, go to export and then just make sure you're selecting it as PDF. And because there is only one artboard in this design, you don't have to choose anything. Just go ahead and press export, and that is your front cover, your back cover, and also the interior of your book completely done thanks to Kittle. So now the next stage is actually uploading this book to Amazon KDP. So once you've logged into your KDP dashboard and press create, you have these different options here. You want to go ahead and just press create paperback. And as you can see, there's loads of information that you need to put in about your book. Firstly, the book title. So we're going to go for Cute Puppies. And then the subtitle is going to be bold and easy coloring book. Now, actually structuring a proper title and a proper subtitle is a lot more advanced. So this is the kind of stuff I cover in my Publish for Profit Mastery course. But for the example of this video, I'm just going to keep this as simple as possible and just skim through this because I just want to show you exactly how you would actually upload this to Amazon KDP. You put your book title in, you then put your subtitle in, then you have to put your author name. So I'm just going to go for Sam Barnes as my author name. This can be literally anything you want, a completely made up brand name. It can be your name, whatever you want to put in here. All of these that I'm not putting in, you can just leave blank, just like the contributors. Then you put in your description. So here is where your description would go. Again, you can go really advanced with this if you want to, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to keep this simple. Essentially just explain the benefits of the reader buying your book and explain a little bit more about your book and try and use this description box to convert someone who lands on your listing to actually buying your book. So that's where your description goes. Publishing rights, yes, you do own the copyright because you have, the premium paid version of Kittle and you have access to the commercial use of this. Sexually explicit images or title, no. Reading age, it kind of depends exactly who you're targeting. If it's just specifically for kids, you can put in kids ages here, but for ours, this can be kids or adults. So this is optional. We're not going to kind of box ourselves into a small category. So we're going to leave both of these blank. Primary marketplace, we're going to leave it as Amazon.com because that's where we did our research. And then you need to go ahead and choose some categories. So we're going to go for, so let's just say this was a children's book. We go into children's book here and then go to subcategory animals, subcategory, let's see if we can go even further into dogs. So we can find dogs here and then dogs non-fiction. It's a non-fiction dog book. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. We're not worried about these two boxes here because we haven't got a large print book or also a low content book. And then you want to go ahead and put in keywords. So basically this is something that can be significantly covered in a lot more depth. Basically how people can find your book on Amazon. So without going into too much detail, you essentially just want to put in loads of related search terms that people might be typing in to find your book. So one thing we want to go for is definitely puppy coloring. Book will be one, bold and easy coloring would be another, and just basically fill these keyword boxes in as you think people are searching in. Again, this can go into significant detail, but I don't want to overload and bombard you. This is going to be a long enough video as it is. Like I say, if you want to see learn more about this, I have loads of other videos on my channel going into keyword stuff in a lot more detail. Publication date, just keep this exactly the same, and then just keep the release date exactly as it is. Press save and continue. And then you have to actually upload the paperback content now. The first thing you want to do is assign a free KDP ISBN. ISBN is basically an identification number for your book. You have to usually pay for them, but you can get them completely free using Amazon KDP. So here is the ISBN number for our book. If you say this basically means you can only publish it on Amazon KDP, but that's absolutely fine. More than enough potential and enough money you can make just by selling it on Amazon KDP. The print options, we're just going to go for black and white interior with white paper. You can play around with these if you want to. For a coloring book, you want to make sure it's staying black and white interior with white paper. The trim size, as I mentioned at the start of this video and going through, is actually 8.5 by 8.5. Bleed basically means if the interior of the book bleeds into the spine. So if you had a notebook, the lines on a notebook bleed right into the spine of the book. But for a coloring book or a book like this, as you can see, there's a big gap between the spine and the text. So we're going to go for no bleed here. And then you can choose whether or not you want your book to have a matte finish or to have a glossy finish. Again, it completely depends, it's entirely up to you. I'm just going to go for a matte finish here. And then this is where you upload those two files. So what I'm going to do is upload the manuscript and then also upload the book cover. You want to make sure you're pressing this upload a cover you already have, and then just choose those two files that we've just downloaded. So I've uploaded those two files, and it will take a little bit of time. So these files are now both processing the manuscript and also the book cover. So while they're doing that, let's finish the rest of the things we need to put in. And this AI generated content box, now a lot of people get confused or a little bit scared about this. This is not Amazon trying to catch you out. You just need to be honest of how much AI content you're using. Did you use AI tools in creating text, images, and translations in your book? Yes, we did. Do not lie. There's no point in lying. Text, none. We didn't use any text. Images, yes, we did. Many AI generated images with extensive editing because we turned basically a colored image into a vector. I would consider that to be pretty extensive in terms of its editing. And the tools we use, we're just going to go for Kittl because we use Kittl in order to do this. Again, AI is allowed on Amazon KDP if you're basically telling them exactly how much you use it. Don't worry too much about this, just be completely honest. And all you want to do is go ahead and press Launch Previewer, and that will take a little bit of time, and then once those two files have uploaded, it will show you a perfect mock-up of our book. As you can see, here is a mock-up of our book. We have our front cover here, we also have our back cover here, and if you have any issues with your dimensions that KDP rejects, the error codes will usually come up here. And you can actually see the interior of the book as well. One thing I've just realized I've made a mistake when making the interior. The first page of every single book is always a right-handed page. So as I made it in Kittl, I had these left pages first, and then I had my coloring images. As you can see here, because I haven't included that first page, I usually have this as kind of like a title page or some kind of introduction to my KDP brand. I would usually have that here, and then I would have every left page being this message here, and then every right page would be the image. So in order to fix this, just go back to the bit where I showed you how to make the interior of the book, and just make sure the first page is just some kind of title page or anything like that, and that will solve this. I mean, this text here goes on the left page, and then this one will go on the right-hand page. But ultimately, if you want to have, the coloring pages on the left and the text on the right, it's entirely up to you. But that's just one thing I've noticed I forgot to do in the tutorial, but it's a super simple thing to fix. So when you're happy with that, just go ahead and press approve, and then go ahead and press save and continue. And then finally, you just need to set the price of your book. So you want to go for all territories, and then just set the price of your book. So it entirely depends what you want to price it at. Let's just go for $7.99 for the example of this book. Actually, no, let's go $8.99. For this book. This pricing completely depends on how much your competition is priced at, how good your book quality actually is. So it's going to go for $8.99, which means in every single time someone makes a sale, yes, $8.99 is a sale number. It costs Amazon $2.84 to print. We have a 60% rate of royalties, which basically means every single time someone buys this book for $8.99, we will receive $2.59 straight into our pockets. You can choose expanded distribution if you want to. This book actually doesn't meet requirements for it, so we can't. So basically every single sale we make on Amazon.com will make $2.55. Let's just change this to $99, rather than 96. Just looks a little bit more professional. Every sale we make on Amazon.co.uk will make £2.04, and the same for all of these territories. Now, you want to go through and just add these in if you want to. The two main ones you want to look at are .com and also .co.uk. Then simply go ahead, press publish your paperback book, and your book is completely live on Amazon KDP. Now, for most people, it completely ends there, but there's one final thing you need to do, and that's starting some marketing campaigns for your book. Again, this can go into an extremely high level of detail, but I'm just going to show you a very simple ad that you can set up for any of your books to start marketing it and getting it in front of the right customers. So you want to firstly go to advertising.amazon.com, then just go ahead and press sign in, and then choose the territory you want to advertise in. You can advertise in all of these different territories. For this example, I'm just going to go for United States. Again, I have loads of videos on my channel going into this kind of stuff in more detail and within my Publish for Profit Mastery course. Go ahead and just press sign in, and then go to create a campaign, and then you have to choose the campaign type that you want. We're going to go for sponsored product. So once you've done that, you need to go ahead and just press standard ad, and then you need to go ahead and choose the book that you want. I've obviously blurred these out because I don't want people copying the books that I make on Amazon KDP. Let's go ahead and add this one as if this was the book that we've just created. So we've chosen the book that we want to advertise, the book that we've just created, and then we want to go for automatic targeting. You can go into manual targeting. This just gets a lot more detailed. So for the simplicity of this video, let's just go for automatic targeting. What this basically does is Amazon will look at the book you've got, it will look at the title, it will look at the description, it will look at the categories, and it will figure out what kind of book you've got. So it will figure out that it's a dog coloring book and it's a bold and easy design. So what it's going to do, every single time someone types in, dog coloring book or Bold and Easy dog coloring book or Bold and Easy coloring book, Amazon is going to try and show our book for those search terms. So that's what you get when you select automatic targeting. It is very hands-off. It will then suggest you a default bid. I would generally recommend for an auto ad, just go for the upper end of the default bid. So let's go for 0.4 for this example here. Let's not worry about negative keyword targeting in this video. So this basically means default bid of 40p. Amazon basically works on a bidding system. So if someone types in a dog coloring book into Amazon and our bid is 40 cents, what that will basically do is we'll bid 40 cents in order to be shown up to that person that's typed in dog coloring book onto Amazon. And if our bid wins, i.e. it's higher than other people we're bidding against, we will win that spot. But we only pay once someone actually clicks into that. So again, I don't want to go into too much detail here because it can be very overwhelming. Make sure you're checking out loads of my other ad videos to go into more depth here. But if you just want a really basic one that you can copy, just go ahead and copy exactly what I'm putting in here. Automatic targeting, set your default bid to the top range here. So in this case, it would be 40, keep this blank. And we're going to go for the bidding strategy of dynamic bids down only. This basically means we're never going to bid more than our default bid of 40 cents. Keep everything the same here and then just change this to auto and then the name of your book, dog coloring, and then just put your daily budget of $10. And then as a beginner, I would recommend you untick this and just keep things really simple to make sure you're not going to spend a load of money. And then just go ahead and launch campaign. And what this is going to do is going to automatically advertise your books against loads of other books on Amazon KDP. And that's going to hopefully put your dog coloring book in front of the right customers who are eventually going to buy it. So there you go. There is a full tutorial of exactly how to bring a coloring book to life on Amazon KDP completely from scratch, how to do the research, how to actually create it, and then also how to market it. Now, marketing, I only touched on a little bit here because it is an extremely complicated process, but it is really, really important. So if you want to learn more about how to run Amazon ads properly, click the video on screen and you can see a full tutorial of exactly how to do that.